Fluker's brought me out here to show the family business exactly how they pack crickets, mealworms, and everything else so efficiently. So I'm just here to kind of show you around for the day.
Hey Adam, Chewy sent you here to work, so I need you in Building 7, getting some crickets ready, man. Come on.
I'm gonna go pack some crickets in Building 7. It's unfluking believable. Is this a bad time to tell you I'm afraid of crickets?
Being at a cricket farm, if you're afraid of crickets, is a bad idea. Luckily, I love these insects. They're interesting, they're unique, and I had no idea how the life cycle worked until I got to Fluker's. Because the management at Fluker's graciously let 3 of their employees take their days away from their normal work to tell me to do their normal work. And it turns out, I'm pretty lousy at making crickets.
Is that still too little?
Yeah.
Yeah?
But we all start somewhere, and so do crickets, with the age-old question, what came first, the cricket or the egg? Well, it was the cricket, who laid the egg in pans just like this one.
The incubation room, obviously eggs need to incubate, just like your snake. Hold on 1 second here, 1 sec, just 1 sec. Feels like home. I feel very comfortable in this room where it's about 90 or 100 or 110 humidity, something like that. Also, the temperature is about half the surface of the sun, I think. That's Fahrenheit, not Kelvin. But this room right here is very hot, very humid, and we've got egg pans behind us because those crickets that we're showing you that were laying the eggs in the medium, they come here afterwards. It's a really cool room, not cool, but interesting room that's really, really hot. There's so many eggs in here, and eventually these are gonna turn into
Pinhead crickets. Tiny little baby crickets. They look a little bit whiter, their exoskeletons are a little bit softer, and they are great for feeding baby lizards, inverts, small frogs, and many critters like that you might have in your collection. But here at Fluker's Farms, they're great for raising up and being the next generation of the larger crickets that you get when you order crickets from Fluker's.
So basically you take the pinhead crickets, you sift them out from the egg pans, and then you have a big bucket of them here, and then you put them in here, and then you scoop them or something. I don't know exactly.
Adam, are you going to keep on talking or are we going to go to work?
Okay, all right, let's get her going. All right. So how many crickets are in one of these scoops?
Oh, 18, 20,000. Dude, you got to put way more than that. That
was like 18,000. I could feel it was like 17,000
like
from the weight.
Maybe a little bit.
All right, what do we got here? Is this like
a little bit more?
That's like 20,000.
Oh, yep.
That's perfect.
That's great.
All right, let's give her. Let's put her in there.
Okay, let's go to the bottom. Right there.
All right, I'm gonna go on break, guys. So, all right.
Dude, Adam,
I'll give you that. Okay. All right.
We got more over there, man.
This is unsanitary working conditions.
Get over here.
Bye, guys.
These plastic crates you see here with a screen on the side for ventilation, inside is this type of egg crate to create surface area for the crickets to crawl on, since there might be 20,000 crickets in here. And to provide drinking water, they have this genius solution.
Got these wicks. It's actually a genius idea how you feed water to crickets, because if you've kept crickets at home, you know that they drown in the water. You have to give them either a chicken feeder or some sort of gel, which you can get from Fluker's as well. But if you want to feed straight water and you want to do all of these, the best way to do it is to hook up these to a water reservoir. So basically you just stick one into a hole, wham bam, Bob's your uncle. And I'm sure that Eric's gonna come over here and tell me I'm not doing it correctly, but I did my best, and I'm still collecting a paycheck, Fluker's. It's in the mail, the invoice. Eric, I can't reach the top one.
Adam, you have like 5 more to do. What are you talking about? You can't reach the top one.
I'm gonna go deal with mealworms or something. And don't click off the video if you're not into bugs because you have snakes. Some snakes eat bugs. This is a rough green snake. You can find them here in Louisiana. You can find them in Ontario, where I'm from. I see them all over the place, and they're very closely related to smooth green snakes too, but these guys have a keeled scale, kind of like a hognose snake has. And these guys are insectivores, but it's not just insectivorous snakes that eat insects. So if you let this guy go, I'm sure you'd have a field day, but there's a lot of other snakes too, when they're a little bit younger, that could also eat things like crickets or even mealworms or black soldier fly larvae, which we're going to talk about next. But this little guy here, his name is
Shoelace.
Shoelace. Oh yeah, the one that's I can read. This little guy is Shoelace. He looks like a shoelace, and honestly, they don't even really get that much bigger than this. And what a lot of people don't know is they're semi-arboreal. So they're probably going to find tree frogs when they get a little bit older, but they're probably not going to harass them too much. But if you're a bug, it'd be a bad day to be around Shoelace. Something I've been pushing for a long time is soldier flies. Well, soldier fly larvae, basically. Black soldier fly larva is highly nutritious, and one of those things that it moves around a whole bunch, but it's not going to hop around like crickets. It's easy to ship, it's easy to store, and this is how they make it. Basically, an entire tub full of food, put water into it, mix it all up. Imagine like a protein shake, mix it up in here, and then you put all these neonates inside, and they're gonna grow. What's gonna happen is they're gonna be growing inside the medium, so the medium is the food, and then you're gonna have all the frass, and it's gonna mix up, and you can see the color difference. What's interesting with insects is it's just how it is. There's going to be poop inside of the bin. They're not gonna cannibalize each other, or they're not gonna eat the poop, as long as they have the right mixture of food. And that's what they do right here at Flukers, and that's why you get the healthiest bugs for your animals.
And about those mealworms I was about to go check out, very similar process, but they turn into beetles at the end. Either way, there's a reel on Instagram you can watch all about their life cycle.
All right, guys, I'm kind of hungry. Can I just take these for lunch?
You've got 20 minutes.
Okay, all right. Also at Flukers, they've got head of security Midnight here, and basically what they do is they take Midnight, she lays the eggs, and then the eggs go into the sifter here, and then cat eggs fall out of here, and then the baby kittens fall out of here. Is that right?
Yeah.
If you're wondering how you get one of these bins just to worms, when it's got all the frass, which is the poop by the way, and all the feed, and then all of the potatoes in there, this is how you do it. You put it in one of these conveyor belts, it's gonna shake the heck out of it, and then once we're done separating the cats from the cat eggs, what we do is we have this, and in one tube we're gonna have the frass come out, in the other tube we're gonna have basically all of the worms come out, so this is the harvest. So when you're gonna go ahead and get an order of worms, this is how we separate everything out.
Anyway, back to the crickets. Once you have them set up, you wait in a warm room until they get older.
Sorry, I'm trying to have extra protein. The life cycle of a cricket ends here at 4 weeks. Sometimes you ship them out as pinheads. Sometimes you ship them out at 2 weeks. This is a 4-week cricket. Basically, they're in these tubs. Put them into a sifter. Figure out what your count is. It says 100 on the box. This is 100 right here. Dump it in there. Get them all over you. That's a little bit too many. Pour them out. A little bit too many. There we go. That's about 100, right? Is that good?
Yeah, no, it's better. I mean, a little bit more, to be honest.
I'll go. This person's getting extra.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
There you go.
Whose order is this? Brandon. There you go. All right, Brandon, you're getting a little bit extra in your 100 there. Then you go ahead and grab your little funnel here. Pour them in there. Wham, bam, Bob's your Uncle Fran's your aunt. Brandon, these will be at your house in the next 3 or 4 days. I got to go put them on a truck. And it's a Chewy customer, I believe, too. Thanks for shopping at Chewy. So it doesn't matter if you got crickets or you got mealworms or whatever it is. You can buy all of your bugs in one place at Chewy.com. And it's not even just the live stuff, too, which is going to get to you in 2 or 3 days, depending on where you are. But besides that, you can also get dried insects, too. Maybe freeze-dried insects or other products. If you got a turtle, all of it will come from a warehouse like this one, comes on a truck right to your door, and you can get it all in the same place. Not only that, but Chewy is a USR Gold member, which means they're not these corporate giants who are pretending to be reptile people. They're reptile people for reptile people. And that's why I'm with Chewy. Plus, they don't do any live animal sales, so you don't have to worry about them having them in small bins or cramped quarters. So if you get crickets or any of your other bugs, you can get them right here at Chewy.com. Thanks so much for sponsoring this episode, and let's get back to the rest of the farm.
Now that your crickets are on their way, you're going to need something to feed them, or supplementation for your reptiles. And most things from Flukers are made right here on this assembly line, including Fluker's Orange Cricket Cube, which is a cricket food that I have used for years. And to see how it's packaged and put on a truck and then into your mailbox was really interesting. Not to mention the working conditions in this factory were unbelievably clean. It smelled like citrus in the entire plant.
I just want to take a little break from bugs. Something interesting about tortoises is they don't eat bugs unless it's a redfoot tortoise or a cherry head tortoise, because I've got 3 of these guys. I show them all the time, and these are exactly the size they're supposed to be. Now these guys, they do need a protein part of their diet, where sulcatas and other tortoises don't really need that, or they get their protein from the vegetation that they eat or the hay or whatever else. These guys, feed them a little pinky every once in a while, or feed them some bugs, and we're at the perfect place to have bugs. I heard that they have some in Building 7 over there that I have to go pack boxes or something, so I'll bring some over for Harriet here. It's a boy because of the plastron, but his name is Harriet, so I'll go to work before Eric yells at me again. One of the most popular pets from when I was a kid, or the most exotic invert, was probably one of these hissing cockroaches. Now we found these in Madagascar, which is really cool because they were actually hissing. This guy, his name is Jeff, and he can't really hiss. He just keeps kind of saying, "My name is Jeff." What I like about them, too, is they don't fly. So if you're looking for a roach that's not going to fly and isn't going to be a feeder, because they're kind of expensive to be a feeder, you're going to buy these things for, you know, maybe a couple of dollars or something like that from whatever retailer that you're going to buy them from. These guys here, they don't fly, and they don't really bite. I mean, they have these legs that have these little groovy baby, these kind of like spiky things on them, and I think this one's a male because he's got those horns and they use those for fighting. So a really cool roach species, and if you're looking for something that's an invert, that's easy to get into, they're easy to care for, and they're going to last about 2 years, there's really not much better than a hissing cockroach, and I wanted to show you because I'm at a bug farm. Another staple in the industry is Dubia roaches. And this is how they come. Now this is probably, I don't know, 1,000 Dubia roaches, maybe more of them. You can pick it up and you're gonna feel the weight of them. I'm gonna guess 2,314, is that right? Nailed it?
Close, yeah.
Great, I'm gonna start working at the carnival, guessing people's weight from now on. Anyway, these guys here, they do have wings when they get a little bit older. They're not gonna fly away from you, and they don't really have mouth parts that are gonna bite you. So if you're into reptiles that you don't have to feed things that are gonna bite you too, these are kind of like the perfect insect just for that. Plus they're slower moving, they're not trying to get away from you. They're not creepy, they're kind of cute, and that's where Dubias come from. They come from farms with egg crates, and that's how they live in the wild. Usually you'd think that when you're packing something and you're counting 1,000 of them, it's going to be a really tedious process. Unless you're Fluker's Farms and you have a Neo counter. This has 2 cameras in it, shooting 10,000 frames a second. For comparison, your eyes see 24 frames a second. This video that you're watching is in 24 frames a second. This is 10,000. So it differentiates between a leg of a cricket or a soldier fly larva like we have going right now. So when you get your cricket counts or your soldier fly counts, you're getting exactly the amount that you asked for in the first place. So we packed all of the live bugs, but now we got to pack all the dry goods too. And the dry goods, it's a very unique system. We've got an automation system right here where they fling them across the entire warehouse at you. Now I have been trained to do this, and that's how you pack it up. So now we're going to put it on a truck and we're going to send it off to a Chewy customer. Last step is to go around and make sure that you don't forget anything in the boxes. So you just kind of open them all up, make sure that...
Hey Adam.
Yes?
Forgot these things.
Okay, thank you. Take that. Take that. Okay, I'm going back to Canada now.
It didn't work out for me at Fluker's. Eric said I wasn't really Fluker's material, so they decided to put me on a truck to carefully hand deliver the package I created for the Chewy customer, and then send that truck back to Canada, apparently where I belong. But I was rejected by Canadian Customs and returned to sender.
Eric, as the bug guy at Fluker's Farms, what makes Fluker's not just sticking insects into a box and then shipping it across the country?
It's more than just that. We are here to grow the insects, make sure they have all the resources that they need. We are here for the insects. We're not here to send them out. We're not here to make sure that they get fed on the other side. We're here to grow the insects. We're making sure they have all the resources, they have the space, and they have all the needs throughout their entire life cycle for you as the consumer to be able to have something that is nutritious and healthy for your pets.
At the end of the day, after working in the crickets and mealworms and Dubia roaches, it was time for me to be escorted to the boss's office for my exit interview. I was a little nervous. Let's see how I did.
Come in. Hey Vance, thanks for the opportunity. I'm done for the day. Just want to know how I've done for Fluker's Cricket Farm for today.
Yeah, so Adam, I heard it was a slow start. You tried to eat our crickets. You kind of had some trouble scooping, but I think you turned it on at the end of the day. This may work out for you.
Eric, you told me that I would grow bigger if I ate the crickets, though.
I don't recall that. You just kept trying to grab them.
So anyway, I hope that I did okay for you guys, and I'm just wondering which one of you guys wants to drive me to the airport.
You know, Adam, I can take care of that.
I want to say thank you so much to Fluker's Cricket Farm for having me here today. They put me up in style. They're sending me back in a limo. And speaking of that, driver, ready to go back to Canada.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go.
Very special thanks to Eric for driving me back all the way to Canada in this very fancy limo. And thanks to everyone at Fluker's for showing me exactly what care it takes to make the best bugs and most nutritious food for your reptiles. I've been a Fluker's customer since long before I started making YouTube videos, and I'll continue using Fluker's products long after. Thank you to Chewy and Fluker's for setting this up. I had a great time, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video.